Profiles, a show about living in Atlanta and purchasing a home here. Atlanta Community Profiles is hosted by Lou Whelan, who will talk to experts who know this ever-changing city and its real estate industry. We'll talk to mayors, community leaders, and residential real estate experts. Now, here's Lou Whelan with this week's Atlanta Community Profiles.
Hello there and welcome to our show. My name is Lou Whelan. I publish the official relocation guides on Atlanta on behalf of the First Multiple Listing Service of Atlanta. We have 5 magazines or publications. One is for the metro area, Atlanta Community Profiles. One for North Fulton with the North Fulton Chamber of Commerce. And one for Gwinnett in partnership with the Gwinnett Chamber. One for Cobb in partnership with the Cobb Association of Realtors. And one for Inside 285. They're available at the Chambers of Commerce and all realtor offices and at the FMLS 3 stores, free of charge. Stop in, pick up a copy. You're not allowed to go into the store unless you are a realtor, though, but you can go into any real estate brokerage firms or chambers and pick up a copy. My website is atlantacommunityprofiles.com. If you go to that site, you'll find all the publications, along with a great deal of other information. And I'm also a realtor with Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, Georgia Properties, and I do handle both residential and commercial property and investment property. If I can help you, please let me know. My email is lou@communityprofiles.net, and Lou Whelan, WIELAND.com is my website for my real estate business. And every week we interview people who are knowledgeable and contributing to the community and the well-being of the community. And every 6 months, we do a profile of the residential real estate market with our friends at Smart Real Estate Data. And today, it's been almost exactly 6 months since Mitchell Palm has been on the show. So welcome back, Mitchell. Great to have you on the show. We thank you very much for coming on the show and keeping us up to date on the residential real estate market.
Yeah, no problem at all. Thank you again for having me. Always a pleasure to stop by, present some of the data. A lot of the same trends we've kind of posted last time are continuing, but we are also seeing some new developments as well. So definitely, excited to talk about that throughout the show.
We're going to get some good information. And just by background, Smart Real Estate Data has been providing information since 1996, and they state on their website they've been involved with the majority of all residential real estate projects within Metro Atlanta, and they've been quoted and interviewed all over the place on CNN and ABC, CBS, and Fox, and you name it. But they are the leading experts in the metro area on the real estate industry, and it was a great honor to have you guys on the show every 6 months to keep us up to date. Now, the first thing I guess we should start out with is just give us an overview for the market, where we stand, price up, down, prices are up, down, attached, detached, and a forecast. That'll take us the whole show.
How long do I got?
2 days. So what would you say? Are we up or down, or where's it going anyway? And inventory, so many problems, and inventory is a problem, but we're definitely in a seller's market, right?
It's 100% a seller's market. We're seeing all-time lows for months of supply, new construction, resale, you name it. Pricing-wise, we are continuing up. We actually just had a discussion before we started about how they're getting out of hand. If you actually look at prices dating back to 20 years ago, and you take out the dramatic crash we had, and then we shot right back up after first quarter 2012, which was the bottom of the market. So if you bought a home back then, pat yourself in the back. If you look at that, we're actually at about a 2 to 3% year-over-year growth. So we're right where we should be. New construction resales really aren't dramatically increasing anymore, especially new construction. New construction prices are actually up 1% this year. And a lot of that is due to the movement out. We were just talking about how Henry County and Paulding County, Hall County, Jackson County, all these outer counties are really making up more and more of the market share, which is obviously bringing the price down as well. New construction is still increasing, anywhere from 8%. I would say about 8%. In some of these A-plus areas, the South Forsyth new construction, it's getting more and more expensive to build in there. Resale closings, we're still setting records every month. Second quarter was actually the most resale closings we've ever had in a quarter, just about 25,000 for the whole market. And when I'm quoting these numbers, that's an Atlanta metro market, but it's about 26 counties, and so it's a pretty wide demographic, obviously.
So, am I understanding you correctly, Mitchell, that our sales are back to the pre-recession level in terms of volume of business?
For resales, we about 2 years ago broke through the old records, and we've been breaking them every month, every quarter, every year since then. New construction, we're nowhere near where we were before the recession. I just saw an article how a lot of people keep saying we're back to pre-recession numbers for new construction. That's 100% not true. We're going to do probably just under 22,000 new construction closings this year, at least through the first 6 months. That's the kind of pace we're at. And if you compare that back to 2005, we did 56,200. So we're down about 62% from where we were in the peak. In comparison, today's numbers of 22,000, give or take a couple thousand, that's essentially about early 90s Atlanta. So we're nowhere near it.
That's a kind of an interesting phenomenon where that resale market is back to before recession, but the new construction is over 60% below. Why? How do you account for that dichotomy?
There's a lot of different factors go into that. I mean, a big thing was Atlanta was such a booming market back in the 90s, early 2000s, and obviously there's a huge bubble going on. I'm sure everybody's heard about. And so we kept building more and more homes. People who were buying homes weren't, really shouldn't have bought a home in the first place. But today's market, there's just more restrictions on getting a loan. And the resale market, I think, is one of the biggest factors for new construction. There are a lot of good deals out there still for resales compared to new construction. The builders also, in order for them to make a profit, they have to have a margin, positive margin on what they're paying to build the home. Construction costs are getting out of hand. Lumber, for example, is one of the biggest appreciating materials out there so far to date. One of our builders we actually talked to said that their base home, so no upgrades or anything, has gone up about 4% so far this year alone, from January to today. And so 4% doesn't seem like much, but when you add, a $200,000 base home and you're making it $208,000, that price is getting pushed into the consumer, which makes it tougher and tougher to buy a new construction home. And if you actually look at the price difference between a resale and a new construction, we've always done kind of an 80-20 rule, where if a resale is $300,000, a new construction you should price it about $360,000, and then the consumer can kind of pick, do I want new construction or resale? This market right now is about a 73%, and so we still have some ground to make up, and it's happening right now. New construction is slowing down price-wise, and resale has been shooting up, and so hopefully eventually we get back to more of where we were price-wise before, and it'll allow new construction to compete, much easier against resales.
So that's, if my math is correct, that's like a 20% over the appreciation or increase for new or versus resale, right? But there's a comparable house would be about 20% more new than resale.
Every area is different.
But overall,
I mean, if you go into Buckhead down the street, it's a little bit different than that. I mean, there's more of a demand for new construction. A lot of it's land too. The land costs are getting out of hand, and so with a resale, you already have everything built. There's no, building costs, appreciations. The land's already the land. And another big factor for builders, they can't find good labor to build any of these homes. A lot of the builders they had, or a lot of the workers builders had before the recession, all left the area because they knew it was a depleting market. And then even with the new administration coming in and really wanting to get rid of illegal immigration, that's actually a lot of the construction workers as well. And so it's tough to find a good worker. And when you do find workers, a lot of times it's tough to find somebody who does the job right. And so if they do it wrong, you have to go back, change some things. It delays the finished product, and that just adds to more and more cost to the builder as well.
Well, this is kind of an aside, but I've interviewed people on the show from technical schools, and workforce development is a big topic today, and people are just not being trained to do the for the jobs that we have. And do you see any change in that in the housing industry, construction?
You really need to. I agree with you. I think I read somewhere that the average age farmer is 61 now, and it's the jobs where you have to work hard, get the job done is going away. People don't do that. They need more of a trade school, I think, to bring back. Allow people to not have to spend all this money for 4-year education. Do a 2-year trade school, become a good plumber, a carpenter, or whatever. And there's definitely a lot of jobs out there for you.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back after the break. We have a lot more valuable information to present. Welcome back. I'm Lou Whelan. We're sitting here with Mitchell Palm at Smart Real Estate Data. They are the premier research company in Atlanta and the metro area and even in Charlotte on the residential real estate market. And by the way, are you getting into other areas besides Charlotte? I know you.
We are in Columbus and Macon and Savannah and Augusta, and Charlotte was our next big jump. We actually just launched that in January of this year. So we've been pushing that, but one time well, so that kind of
because they could have to so even on public transportation, a lot of people cut down on businesses are moving quick. Companies are like, I know Amazon's building a new plant up in Nebraska. A lot of times you see, and even down around the airport, outside of town, you've got Amazon, and other big companies, PPG, down there, so people can live farther away and still not have it.
Atlanta is definitely one of the most growing cities in the country. We're still number 3 in the nation for permits, and we're pretty far behind Houston and Dallas, but that's still not bad. We're on pace for about 25,000 permits. But yeah, a lot of people want to move here. It's actually, we probably talk about this in the next segments, is millennial buyers. I think that's what everybody wants to know about. And I think the cities are going to be cities and millennials to move into. There's a lot of jobs. It's actually still affordable.
Welcome back. I'm Lou Wieland, and we're sitting here with Mitchell Pong of Smart Real Estate Data, and they are the experts. They are the most prestigious real estate research company in Atlanta, and they're on the show every 6 months to get an update. Talking with Mitchell, and Mitchell's father, Steve, has founded the company.
Yeah, it's probably more known as Smart Numbers. I think a lot of clients, you can pick up the phone sometimes, or get out from Smart Numbers. So if you ever hear Smart Numbers,
We started in 1996, and Mitchell graduated from the University of Georgia, and then the rivalry goes on between Georgia Tech. Are you still living in Buffalo? I know that
no, I can't afford back then. Even then, it's still expensive. But we bought a home over in Smyrna, pretty close to the Braves Stadium. My wife actually thought I wanted to live over there just because the Braves come in town. But that actually is a great area. It's very much appreciated. A lot of retail going in. Obviously, the Braves Stadium. Two more restaurants just opened up over there in Battery. But even that, John Quill, Belmont Hills, all that stuff. That's one of the most growing areas. I think Alpharetta is another booming area. They revitalizing the entire downtown. But some more of those areas over in Gwinnett as well. But I think the two probably biggest risers in property value that have grown in the future and Mableton. It's funny, you're talking about Cobb County and how it's down 25%. And even just the East Cobb, the West Cobb area, that's probably not somewhere it wasn't deep. But the only areas that are really keeping Cobb County is areas like Mableton and Eastern High School. We do a lot of high school districts kind of prime areas. People like to do the 3-mile radius. We don't ever recommend it. We like to kind of quote it on high school districts or come to one of our presentations because there's a lot of high school district parks as well. Yeah, Mableton and kind of the Powder Springs area, that's a lot of new construction. So it's kind of it's drying up a little bit. All those legacy lots that are left over from the downturn are going away. And you're seeing it move more into East Paulding. North Paulding was really the driving force a couple years ago, now it's turning East Paulding. And you're going to see people Paulding and South Paulding.
And remodeling.
Remodeling is, you get all these shows out there now, and people that think they know what they're doing. But
No, don't watch that television.
yeah, I think we had someone from the AGC ask us a question not too long ago about how in the entire United States, about 70% of all current homes are 30 years or older. When you think about it, over 2/3 of the entire nation of homes are built 40 years. Yeah, but Atlanta's the exact opposite. Atlanta, 70% of the homes are built. And so you're not really seeing probably much of a problem, and you're still seeing a good deal of opportunity. That would be a very booming industry probably for Atlanta in the same 10, 15 years. You see a lot of these homes are built in 2006, 2007. When those get 30 years old, they're going to start I see that. And we actually mentioned that. We actually had good opportunities, San Francisco in town, and we're kind of slowing down price-wise as the best time. But home ownership actually had a big uptick this quarter. It's a little bit biased. see a couple of developments over in Midtown. The price over $1 million is not affordable at all. If you could build an affordable condo, maybe in West Midtown, for instance, for a younger millennial buyer could afford it, maybe somebody newly married by himself, that was maybe mid to high food. I think that would absolutely take off. The problem is you can't get financing for it. That's just another restriction that builders are having. There's a lot of government restrictions. That's one of the things as well. But you can do leases after the building before you can even get a lot of work done nowadays. I think that's eating into it, and that's why the only condos you see going on are
Yeah, I'll tell you how a couple of net point out there are $100 million
Manhattan prices.
Yeah, it's like Manhattan.
Yeah, not quite, but I think also next year, hopefully in the next couple of years, if these newer apartments, it's not that difficult for a condo, and it's another way to do it. We're hearing from a lot of our clients, they're kind of pulling out of the apartment market. It's slowed down in the last 12 months. We actually saw a presentation of yeah, 6 to 7 months is typically what you want to see for kind of a stable market. Under 6 market, myself, I have a loan about 3.6%. If that keeps going up, how would I ever want to sell my home, sell that loan, get a new one that's going to equal it at all? It's really nothing. We're looking about 6% about 10 years ago. Go back to the early 80s and I was almost 20%. I know my dad likes to talk about all the time. You have it easy, you don't have to pay 80% of the first mortgage. But the rate's not going to go up. We were talking about probably interest not be tax deductible anymore. If that happens, you're going to have to
There's got to be a lot more upward pressure on the
people can only afford so much. You can only go up so much. Yeah, you would expect the supply is so low, the price is shooting up. If you go too far, you're only going to be touching a very small segment of your consumer base, and nobody's going to buy it. And so we're in equilibrium right now in pricing. I don't think we definitely slowed down, which is good. I mean, if you're going up 3 to 5%, that's fine. If you're going up 3 to 5% in closings, even that's job security. It's still low. As long as you're not negative 4 to 5% forward prices, closing everything. It's exciting to see what happens in 2018 in the strong market. And I think if you can come up and push through those price cuts, you're going to see very well.
Even though demand may be low, you're going to see all these
supply is probably that's over population and afford it. They want to buy it.
Thanks for being on the show again. This is on our website. If you'd like to hear it, we look forward to having you back in the United States. And now